Alright, so I am actually recording myself because I told God that I will record this video and I have not done it yet. So today, although this is completely different from what I post for my business and things like that, I wanted to still get on here and talk about what God told me to talk about. And recently I was listening to a sermon that talked about the covenant, and the way that they broke it down, it literally felt like I walked through that whole experience with them. But what it did is it got me really thinking about where I am today. And I realized the way that they described the God's covenant as the blood covenant. Now, normally before, my faith even got to where it need to be in my spiritual relationship with God, I would have been like, you know what, this sounds demonic. I can't even do this. But overall, what I learned is this, is that the blood covenant is when you decide to have radical faith and radical obedience to walk with God. It's when He tells you to actually get up and do something. He's telling you to take a step of faith somewhere. Not so long ago, I made that decision when it came to my job, and I've been in business for about 6 months now. A lot of it is not as easy as I thought it would be, but however, we are surviving. I am almost 6 months in, as far as, surviving, really enjoying life, really having peace of mind, but just making that decision. Honestly, I say 6 months, but it was really like 4 months ago. But 4 months ago, actually, I've had my business for 6 months, but really 4 months ago, I decided to really walk out and allow Him to provide for me, my family, and my business like no other. And although, we're still in the growing stages and things like that, I have been able to be on, be a part of workshops, different meetings, networking. I've got a chance to be at tables with neurosurgeons, all kinds of people, people who have doctorate degrees, different parts of the government. I've gotten a chance to have these conversations with people about, how passionate I am about, really teaching people about who they are internally and teaching kids and young adults all about who they are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But that's another story. But what I want to talk about is the blood covenant. And when I want to say, I'm just going to kind of go backwards a little bit because I'm like all over the place, but I'm excited to share this. So he talked about the blood covenant as an animal split in two. And although he was going on blood covenant, I want to say Abram, but I'm not for sure. So, for all those who know the Bible, quote me or whatever. You don't quote me, but go ahead and correct me if needed. However, he talked about the blood covenant of splitting an animal in two. And he said that the smoke went over the animal. And when the smoke went over the animal, I automatically knew that was God. And really, it made me really think about radical faith and radical obedience. Now, it's all not always easy to actually do that. I mean, who really wants to leave their job or do anything that makes them comfortable? Because let alone, it doesn't matter how many prayers were like, Lord, save me from this, Lord, deliver me, Lord, I want, abundance. Bless me with not just wisdom, but extreme income streams and all of these different things. But when it really comes down to it, we get scared. And what I've learned is that when you do not operate and decide to go in blood covenant with God and do it His way, He will be your cosigner. And what I mean by that is when He decides to be your cosigner, if He has to sign for you, you're going to still do what He tells you to do. It's just that the stretch is going to be a little bit longer than you expected. That challenge is going to be a little bit more tough than you expected. Now, speaking with a friend, we made a decision that we're just gonna go ahead and take that radical faith move and that, and man, radical obedience. Because if you don't do it, it's just so much that you lose. There's so many benefits. Now, I'm not telling you when to do it. You got to listen to your spirit and you need to get in a relationship with God so you can build that and know exactly when you need to do that. But when it is time, you will know when it's time for you to make a radical faith move and when it's time for you to walk in radical obedience. So I just wanted to get on here and talk to you about the blood covenant. That is when you do things God's timing, when He tells you to do it. When you walk out on faith like no other. And that means, you know what? God, I believe you to provide for my needs, for my family. I'm believing in you to provide the resources and the things that I need down to the smallest detail about everything that you're telling me to do and everything that you say that I am. Because God is who He says He is. He always does what He says He's going to do. And once you start to believe that He is who you say you are, you will realize that in reality, through Christ, all things are possible. But you really can't say that if you're not willing to walk out in faith. So I just want to get on here and create that video. And you know what? I hope it made sense to you. I know it's all over the place, but I wanted to get it out because I was supposed to do it yesterday. But I hope you all have a great and abundant week and look forward to talking with you soon. Bye.